Hey guys, welcome back to another video on my channel. Today we're back in the Create SMP. This is a public server that anyone can join. I haven't been on for quite some time, mainly because I've been ill and I've also been super busy with snapshots. A lot has changed since I was last on. There is a lot more at spawn, but today I think we're going to focus on getting our base area a little bit more set up. I have already recorded the beginning of this video, but I lost the footage. I basically just placed a load more mushroom stems around that I then need to just add red and brown mushroom blocks to. So what I want to do to begin this video is decorate this area. I built this tree farm off camera because I needed a load of dark oak and it's worked pretty well. I've had it running for quite some time. Inside of this one we have 2048 logs and then we do also have a lot more inside of these chests. But I think what I want to do is turn this contraption off. That was not what I was meant to do. I was meant to place that down so I can turn the contraption off, because I want to get the deployers off so no more saplings can be placed. And there we go, because I now want to remove this tree farm. We no longer need it. I only needed it to farm up some dark oak logs for the stems, but I think I have all of them now. The next thing I want to do is I think I need to decorate this area. This is our sugarcane, kelp and bamboo farm. Or at least I don't think bamboo is currently working, so it's our sugarcane and kelp farm. So now the building around this is going to be kind of difficult because it's basically a square, but I don't want to make it a square, and it does also interrupt this, which I think that's something I don't want to block. And this pathway, which I don't know who built, but it goes under the mountain, and I also want to connect this up to the rest of our base, as it will then connect us to the main village that a lot of people have set up at. So what I think we're going to do, now I don't need to really build a building around this whole thing because most of it is underground. So this whole bit of cobblestone I guess I could just replace with dirt again. If we build a building around this whole thing, it will block this path. So I don't want to do that. And we could maybe have the path going under the building. So I could like arch the building up around the path here, kind of like how the mountain is arched over. And then the path can come through the building and across to like this area. I think that will look really cool if I can get that to work. So I think the first thing I need to do is basically just determine how big we want this building to be. I'm going to be mainly using the chipped iron blocks because I really do like the look of these. They look kind of like marble. So the building is going to basically just have to cover this area. So let me quickly just get like an outline and I'll see you guys once I've done that. So I've done a little bit of work. I now currently just need to grab some more iron blocks, which we do have a lot of iron up here, or at least we should have, as I hear zombies. Where are these zombies? Is it these guys that are making all the noise? I think it might be. So yeah, we have a lot of iron there, and then we'd also have a lot of iron in there, I believe, which is currently being farmed into emeralds. We have 5,000, which, okay, that is a lot of emeralds. I need to add a hopper underneath that. So I guess let's just craft a lot of this up into iron blocks. Maybe I should make like a crafter here, or like a create crafter. I think it's called mechanical crafter. So this is currently what I have. Now, it hasn't got any detail or anything, and I'm just making it very basic because all it is a farm. It don't need to look the best. I have also got some more blocks. Do they look good? I think they do contrast it quite a lot, but I guess maybe when we add more detail, it could look good. I think these blocks are only going to be placed around the leaves, as if the leaves have kind of made the paint or whatever it is on the wall go funny. And I think that does look kind of cool. Now, once again, it is lacking detail still, and I will add more detail to it. But I just want to get like the main frame of the building done. And we're not going to have any blocks right here. But I am going to have to maybe rework this system. But the simple fact is, we can't have a gap here. And this system does require there to be a gap here, so the blocks can go like back and forth. So I might have to move, oops, I did not mean to do that. So I might have to move this whole system underground and then have this system underground as well, which I think that might be better in the long run. So let's now carry on building this area. Why does that block look different? It is because it is different. Okay, layered iron block. So what block is it that I need? I'm confused. So it's iron sheets that I need. Okay. I did not realize they look the same, but they're not the same. It's not that noticeable, but it does add that little bit more like darkness to it. So I might add some more of them scattered around. So there we go. I now have the tunnel area done, at least like the basics. Detail is something I'll do later on. It's now this area, but before I do anything to this area, I think I need to rework this system so then I know exactly what room I need. So let's just dig out this and see what we can get to make this underground. So there we go. We now have this system done. The only thing we need to do now is figure out how to get the items from down there up to here, which shouldn't be too difficult. I then also do need to move that over by one. But we now don't need a hole right here, which is good. The base floor and the base walls are now all done. We have the pathway. I do also need to make a door, and I think the door will be like here somewhere. So then we enter from here. Now it's just the fact of getting all this to work again, which hopefully shouldn't be too difficult. And I also then need to just get this system up there. So now let's just sort some of this glue out, because there's a lot of glue where it don't need to be. Now the question is, why has this stopped? It shouldn't have stopped, and all this should be flooded. It is. Okay, so I also don't know why this system is here, or this area. So let's just block that up. And why has it stopped? So let's try and figure that out next. Okay, it's because one of the gantry shafts have gone. I'm not really too sure why it's not working. It should be going back and forth. It's definitely glued to the system. And if I just try and glue it again, it's definitely applied the glue. The only other thing I can think of is a block is blocking it from moving, which I think that is the case. So if I like go up, these chests need to be here. I should really keep them there just in case. Yes, it's trying to move this block, which obviously it can't do. So if I click that and remove the glue from all that area, this should now move, I think. Yeah, there we go. It is working perfectly. So now the next thing is to set this up to go up to the top and push the items up, which shouldn't be too hard. I think if I just get like a fan and some chutes. I have an idea of what I could do, but I'm not sure if it's going to work. So my idea is having a conveyor belt go like that. And then if I just connect this up, it will go like so. So the items will go along the conveyor belt. And that will also mean no items will be dispensed from this if there is items here, which is good. So we don't lose any items. And then can I just throw like one of these, a andesite funnel, onto there for the items to be picked up? I can. That's good. Perfect. I didn't think that would work, but it seems like it does. So the next thing I need to do is just move the items up, which we can do just by powering that fan, as long as it's going in the correct direction. And then from here, I just need to have another one of them funnel things, which I don't currently have. So how are they crafted again? I forgot. Hopefully it's stuff that I have in my inventory, so I don't need to go back to the chests. So it's a tunnel. No, it's a funnel we need. The tunnels are the bigger ones. It's just a piece of kelp. Okay, we do have that in one of these, as I was just using it to craft up mechanical belts. And now let's see. Yes, the items are moving up. Okay, so we now need to fix this system up here, which shouldn't be too hard. Let's maybe break this system for a second then, because we don't want items to go absolutely everywhere. So now with this system up here, all I really need to do is just move the whole system down by a block. And there we go. It turns out I didn't even need to move it. All I needed to do was just add one of them right there and then power it in the center. So now this should fully work if I place the chute back down. So let's just do that. Some items will be shot out, but I don't care about the few lost items. And is this now working? It seems to be. But what I'm going to do, I think, is change this for a brass funnel. So it will shoot out more than one item at a time, because one item at a time means this is going to go really slow. And then it's sorting out the items into these, which I might need to add more upgrades to, as I don't know how full they are. That one has 13k, that one has 1900, and that one only has 10 because that one currently isn't working. So now let's go on the outside, because the whole building is done. I just need to now decorate it and fix up a few things. And I think I like it. It's not complete because we do need to add a second floor. I think there's going to be a second floor that has like all of our workbenches in on this side only. So that side is going to be maybe decorated with some kind of farm. Well, I have been busy off camera. I have just basically been working around here to make the place look a little bit nicer and to make it all blend in a lot better, which it currently does. There is still a lot more work I need to do, but I want to finish this area off now. So I'm quickly just using 3cam to show you a little bit more without having to run through as the player. So basically it all starts from this path. It goes through, we then have an entrance to go through the building if you want to, or you can also go around either direction. You can then enter the building with our 3 farms, and at the top here we have just the workstations with no current roof. I do plan to finish that at a later date. Out on here we just have some piles of leaves, a tree, and then some azalea bushes just to fill in this area. I have bone milled the majority of the ground just to give the ground a bit more depth to it. And I've also built quite a lot of brown mushrooms. There are still some that I want to add, like this one. I do also want to add a few more in this sort of area to kind of blend it in with this forest over here. Same in this area. I've got 2 more that I want to build, and I also want to blend it a little bit more into this forest, slowly adding some birch trees as well. And then in this sort of direction, I basically just fixed all of the trees, because if you didn't see this before, you can jump back to the beginning of the video. All these trees were gone due to a forest fire. And I've basically just put them all back and fixed the terrain. I've also done it over here as well because a lot of these trees were burnt down and gone. So this area is pretty much done and I'm happy with how it turned out. It looks pretty cool from this angle. There is still a lot more work that needs to be done to blend it in with the surroundings a little bit more, but I'm happy with how it's coming along. There is also some things I do need to go through, like this one right here is a bit too square, same with this one. So I think I need to go through and adjust some of the mushrooms and also build a few more of them. So for the rest of the video, we're going to jump over to the gunpowder farm because I want to make some changes to that. There is a few things I've learned between this episode and the last one, which there has been quite a big gap between. And that is just purely the fact of I've been busy with snapshots and I did also get ill at the time I planned to return to this series. So it kind of put me off because recording a series like this takes a lot of time. So now we are back here. There is a few things broken at this gunpowder farm. Once again using F3 or 3cam to showcase this. The main thing is the tree farm. The tree farm is what is powering the burners, the blaze burners. So the blaze burners are currently not working. That will also mean that none of these mixers are working. Then also there is a backlog inside of this chest of glistening melons. And because of the backlog, this system down here is currently breaking, where it cannot input any more items. So I do also need to maybe fix that with a storage drawer. So the first things first, let's do the tree farm, because the tree farm has been a problem since I built it, and really the tree farm was only temporary. It wasn't ever meant to be permanent. So the best way I think we can fix this is first of all finding our wrench, which I seem to have left it at the base. So my plans to fix the tree farm is the roof. The roof is going to be built in purely of dirt. And because I suck at building roofs, I am going to make the roof the tree farm, as then we will have a lot more area and it should then not break. And by having a lot more room to work with, it will also mean that we can have a better system to export the items, as I think that was another problem. The items weren't being exported quick enough. So the thing would basically just stay still, and then if someone was to unload spawn chunks and then they would be reloaded, that is what was breaking it, I think, although I'm not 100% sure. So there we go, the roof is now complete, just fully of dirt. Now what I think we're going to do is I need to craft up some rails or powered rails, as I don't think I have any. I have 13, which is definitely not going to be enough. And I think we're going to go 3 blocks in, so on the 3rd block, just so then these never get broken, as I don't want the letters to be destroyed. Maybe a bit more would be good. How much room does that leave us? So let's go on the 3rd block there. That leaves us with how many blocks in the center? That leaves us with 14 in the center. So I think if we make it 12, as then we can do it 6 by 6. I think that would be perfect. So I can move it in by 1 more on either side. And now it's just the fact of going around and connecting all these up. So there we go. I've now created the outline just with normal rails. I'm now going to that scared the life out of me. I'm now just going to add some powered rails just to keep it going. And I'm going to make these so it goes pretty quick. So now with that being done, the next thing is the saplings and the contraption, which the contraption I have right here. If I place that down, that is currently facing the wrong direction because we want these drills to be on the inside. Currently they'll just break the letters, which we don't want. So I think I can just flip it by placing it like so. And yes, that is exactly how we want it. Now, how many blocks long is it? It's 2, 4, 5. So really we need this to be 1 block longer because this is 12. So 6 going down and then 6 going up. But I think that should be fine because we could leave a gap in the middle. So if I push that on its way, what is going to happen? It doesn't rotate when it gets to this corner. Okay, that is a fix I think should be easy. So there we go. It's now facing in that direction, which is the way it will travel. If I now place that and activate it, and it's on the correct one, and then I push it, there we go. That is now... Why is it stopped, though? That's a weird thing. If I push it again, yeah, there we go. It's now working. It's not got saplings in it. That's why it's not placing any saplings. So what has happened at the end here? Why has it stopped? Okay, it's because these are not powered. So is this going to turn around in time? It might not, though, thinking about it. And why are all these off? Ah, it's these. These are turning the levers off. That's weird. I didn't know they could do that. So that's something I'm going to have to fix, maybe just by putting redstone blocks on the corners. I think that should be an easy fix for that. And there we go. It is now rotating around as it should, as I have just put redstone blocks on the corners that it was switching off. So now the real test is to put the saplings in place to see if it will plant them and place them, which we're going to be using birch and oak, or just one of them, as they're the easiest to obtain. Which that should be pretty easy, because we have 32 inside of this backpack, but if I head back down here, and then I head in here, why is it oh, it's gone so dark because the sky. It looks very, like, orange and coppery. But we should have a load of saplings in here. Yes, we have 2,000 of them. So let's grab some of them. Is that also full? It isn't. And then I can just put these into the system for them to then start placing. So I've bumped into a few issues with this. You can see there are some gaps that are not having saplings placed at them. And that is because the minecart don't turn around in time. So there is a few things I could do to fix that, and I could just use 2 minecarts, one going up and down that track, and one going up and down this track. But to be honest, I don't really think that's needed. This should work pretty well, and I'm going to basically just AFK it once I've finished this video to see how well it works, and if there is any major issues I need to fix. As now that I've stringed all of the outside, no saplings are being placed on the outside. It's just purely a few issues with the inside, like missing sapling spots, and then also some trees can't be reached, like this one. I think we now just need to deposit the items, which we are going to do from this point right here. So what I'm going to do, we have the hole right there. I'm going to place a chest right there, just as like a backup. There is then going to be one of them hanging off there, with then a conveyor belt going across here. So I moved it 1 block up this direction just so it can connect to that to make it easier to connect it. And now with that being said, the reason I wanted to have the conveyor belt is just so we can split the items, because then I can have a system right here that then expands the conveyor belt that splits the items into saplings, into sticks, and into logs. And then I can just move the sticks and the saplings into this radius and then just put 2 of them like so. So now all I need to do is just add filters to these. So let's put a stick in that one, and then let's put a sapling in that one. And I don't think I need to put a log in there, but I'm going to do it anyway when one comes through, just because I don't want anything to go onto this line and break the system, which I don't think it will, but just to be safe. So now all we need to do is get the items from here over to here, which I am going to use a storage drawer for, just for the simple fact is, then we can basically store a load more logs if we are not using them. So I've basically just put the storage drawer here, rather than wasting a new one. This does have all the filters on it as well already. I can now break these 2, as we don't need any of this anymore. We now just need to get the items from there into that deposit, which I guess I could move the deposit, as it don't really need to be there. Because could it be there? If it can, that is good, but I don't think it's going to be able to. So can I click on that take items from that, and then we want to deposit items into that one, and also that one. And then I just now need to place it back where it was, which it was right there. And one selected cannot be reached. So that's this block right here, I'm guessing. Now, one thing I'm thinking, what if I move it over? It don't really need to be at the end like that. It could be right there. So if I just place that there, and then I now pick that up and put that like so, is that going to be in reaching distance? I can now also just break that, as we don't need that anymore, and also that. Now let's try. So we have them all selected. So now if I place it back there, and it can work. Yep, that is perfect. It didn't show any errors. So all this system can now be destroyed as we no longer need it. I can also just throw some dirt there so the water is contained. And this system is still needed for the quartz. So let's just see if this works. If it does, when it gets to this point, it should empty. And you can see the items are emptying. They should then go down onto this conveyor belt, which they are. Okay, that's a problem. We need to maybe do something to fix that, where they just drop down here even if this conveyor belt has items on it. There we go. It's way more complicated than it needs to be, I think, but it works. So that's all we're going to do for now. So the items are being sent down and through, and it's not letting more than one item out at a time, which I could fix using one of these. There we go. It's now letting up to a stack out at a time, which I think is good. That should work for the whole system, and there should now no longer be any backup in this area. So the final problem that I can notice from all this is the glistening melon. These are just being backed up because there's way too many. So I think the easiest fix for this is just a storage drawer right there. Now I can input all of these in, and I've just filled it with upgrades. I don't think this will ever back up now. If it does, then I can just remove one of these and add a void upgrade. But I don't really want to void any of these just because they're good to have. Now the question is, are the items being pushed into this drawer? I don't know if they will be or not. I should have my Create goggles somewhere. Yes, here we go. So let's just throw these on and have a look. So there's one coarse dirt in there. If I move that, then can we see? The items are coming up, and does this go up? So it's currently 17,008. I want to break this just so they can't go out of it. Is it going up? It's still 17,008. Is it still? It's 17,009. So yeah, that is working. I didn't think they could push into these, but apparently they can. So that is that problem solved. And I think that is now every problem. There is still a problem here where fermented spider eyes I still have to craft myself. But I don't care about that. Just for the simple fact is, it's not really that big of a deal crafting them, and you have to farm spiders anyway, which requires a player. So with that being said, we have improved the farm here, and we also did get a lot more work done over at the base, and I'm happy with what we got done in this video. The tree farm up here is still a work in progress, and I still need to fix up a few things to make it work a little bit better, and to make sure it don't break. I'd also need to add some lighting, so these don't happen again. Anyway, that is where I'm going to end this video, and I should hopefully have this somewhat regular again. But if you did enjoy, do leave a like and subscribe, and I guess I'll see you guys in the next one.